Now, as you are all very well aware, we have a lot of Star Wars TV shows on the horizon, some of which this year consisting of Mando Season 3 and the Ahsoka Tano series. 2024 is also going to be a very filled actual year of new Star Wars TV shows coming by John, George, and Dave as well. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that we have a lot of things happening at the same exact time between Disney and Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, all thanks to the Disney CEO himself, he has given more privileges to John and Dave to really kind of do whatever they want to do over at the company, as well as really steering things in the right path for the Star Wars franchise, so to speak. Now, when it all actually concerns George Lucas, this is where things begin to get a little bit more uplifting for the foreseeable future for Star Wars and exactly where it's all heading. We all know that George Lucas has had a lot of problems with Kathleen Kennedy over the past couple of years, especially, by the way, in 2019, when he purposely did not show up for the world premiere of Episode 9 because of Kathleen Kennedy deleting so many scenes that he actually advised with J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. Now, moving beyond all of this, we know that one major thing about the future of Star Wars right now is in the hands of John and Dave for the majority. Kathleen Kennedy is only involved in the minority, she's only in control of the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew as of right now, and that's it. However, when it all comes down to George Lucas, this is where things begin to get even all the more exciting about where everything is heading for the future of the franchise and Lucasfilm as a whole. So, moving past all of this, alright? Now, with actors like Mark Hamill getting involved with John and Dave more so with the future of Star Wars, however, it's noted that recently a big development happened with Lucasfilm as a company that includes George Lucas, ever since John and Dave received many privileges at the company from Bob Iger, giving them more power. Now further, it's noted that since then, John and Dave have now given George Lucas much authority over the company and are actually letting him take over certain departments at Lucasfilm that will go into effect in 2024 to propel Star Wars into a healthier state. Now, Lucas is said to be taking over many of the art departments at Lucasfilm, as well as part of HR at Lucasfilm that will further allow him to decide on who to hire and fire from the company after it comes in through Favreau and Filoni. Though this won't go into effect until next year, in the meantime, John and Dave are making great change at Lucasfilm, also by taking over some departments one at a time by Bob Iger. Now, Lucas is said to also take control over the roadmap of Star Wars and how it will be organized in 2024, and that this is going to be a crucial task and obligation at the company that Lucas will handle. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, we know that Lucasfilm right now is kind of like a divided company. You have a lot of employees that support George Lucas, and you also have a lot of employees that support Kathleen Kennedy. It's really split. And so far, the past couple of weeks, ever since John and Dave got their big-time promotions, they have been firing creatives and hiring new ones to actually create a better image for the company and to clean up house over at the company. And they are doing that very slowly but surely. It's all coming together, but by 2024, George is really going to actually be center stage over at Lucasfilm and really kind of steering things in the right path. Now, this is definitely something that a lot of fans have been waiting for, given that we have a lot of things happening all, simultaneously between movies and TV shows, books, novels, and comics, and even video games, by the way. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of manpower, a lot of, work ethic in there, but at the end of the day, I really do believe in John and Dave, as well as George, bringing Star Wars back on track. Now, again, it all starts on March 1st. Mando Season 3 is going to be your big telltale of how well John and Dave are really paying attention to the fans and paying attention to the overall community that spans across the globe. Now, beyond all of this too, alright, this is where things begin to get a little bit more complex, is that all of these different departments are slowly getting taken over by either Favreau and Filoni right now for this year, but in 2024, George will be overseeing something very specific. Let's dive right into this. Now, Lucas is also set to lead the story group in 2024 as well, that will actually give him more control over where Star Wars is heading and which projects will move ahead or not. Both John and Dave are already well involved in informing Lucas on what they need to do to bring Star Wars back to its height. Kathleen Kennedy, at no surprise, is said to be very angry over this decision that was approved by Bob Iger. Now again, the fact that we have George Lucas slowly taking over Lucasfilm and gaining his company back is great news. It's fantastic stuff. It's something that is well deserved, and I think that this is going to be a very good comeback for Lucasfilm as a company. I still stand by my decision, or my opinion I should say, about Bob Iger's decision, that this is probably the best move that you can really make by giving John, Dave, and George so much authority over the company and just leading all of the new creatives into a better slate of Star Wars movies, shows, and, all the like. Now, the thing about this too that I think a lot of fans need to be very well aware of is that we already know that, yes, there's a lot of things happening with the overall structure of the roadmap that Lucas is going to take over next year. So you could very well see an up in frequency of Star Wars shows, as well as, the shows getting rearranged by Lucas, and what fits best, and what shows are going to go in between others. So it's stuff like that that Lucas is going to be organizing and taking over by 2024, and I think it's great. I think that's a very good job for him, and I think it's going to really kind of give you guys a better sense of where things are heading. Now, with that being, of course, put out there as well, we also know that John, George, and Dave are making sure that Legends is going to, thrive and survive, and that it will become canon. They are basically looking at almost every single Legends book and finding ways or avenues to adapt that into the form of live action. We already know that Ahsoka Season 1 and 2 is going to be a partial adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy books from the 1990s. And I think that's a great start, because that's really a big moment for this year, leading into Season 2 that they want to drop in 2025. A lot of things are being worked on at the same exact time. So, the fact that we have Lucas doing this with John and Dave, the fact that we also have themselves taking over multiple art departments and other departments over at Lucasfilm, even the story group for George. This is, something that I think Bob Iger needed to do right from the get-go. When The Last Jedi released and it did not agree with fans, this is exactly what Bob Iger should have done with George Lucas right from the beginning. Allowing him to at least be involved in the company, taking over departments and such. So overall, guys, like I say, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this entire scenario. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.